If you're a business major, you might be thinking, why should I take a speech class? Or you might be a nursing major who wonders, what good does taking a drawing class do for me? Well, get your paintbrushes ready and your dancing shoes on, because we're going to show you how the arts support overall student success. Up next on MC 101 on the Real. Hi, and welcome to MC 101 on the Real. I'm Dr. Beverly Walker-Griffea, Senior Vice President for Student Services at Montgomery College. Some people think of arts classes as a way to get an easy A or as a filler that doesn't help in the long run. At Montgomery College, our arts curricula are far more challenging and, I might say, more rewarding than that. So how do our arts classes help you become a better student? One who is more prepared for your future career? I'll let our college-wide Dean of the Arts explain.
The arts can do a great deal to keep students engaged, to help students be successful, to help retain students. All the studies show us that the more time a student spends on any campus, the more likely their chances to succeed, to graduate, to be successful. So if you're involved in the arts in some way, it's very likely that you're not only spending time in class, but you're spending time outside of class. Because if you're a performing arts major, you might be in a music ensemble, you might be in a dance production, you might be in a play or working on a theater production. That means you're spending time in rehearsals, you're getting to know your peers in a way that you might not get to know them in class, you're getting to know your professors, and you're just feeling a part of a community. But even if you're in the visual arts, some of that still is true. You might not be in an ensemble or in a play, but likely you're having to come back to campus to work in a studio, to work in a lab, to work on a group project. It does wonders for retention and success because it gives students a reason to come to school. They feel engaged, they feel part of what's happening at the college. But what if you're not an arts major? That doesn't matter. There's still so much that involvement in the arts or taking arts classes can do to help students from all different majors. Because a lot of the skills that students pick up in these arts courses really make them successful in their other courses. If you are taking some sort of visual arts class, that enhances a person's powers of observation. And that's a skill that helps if you're a biology major, if you're an engineering major, science majors, because it's a skill that translates to all those other classes. There are some medical schools even that require their med students to take art classes because it does such great things for their powers of observation. Same thing goes for music, which helps a person's concentration, which allows for a higher order of thinking that can be very useful when you get into other classes and you need to be able to really think things through step by step or to be able to take things apart and analyze them. Those skills also translate. So it's okay if you're not an arts major, there's still lots of ways the arts can help a student be successful. Get yourself hooked in to the arts community at Montgomery College and you'll find that you have this built-in family and it'll help you to succeed in whatever you're trying to do.
As you can see, an education in the arts can definitely help you be a better overall student. But what specific skills can you learn in the arts, and how do they apply to your other classes and your future career? Here are some of your fantastic arts professors to give you details on how their respective art disciplines can enhance your academics and your future job success.
I think an art education can really be beneficial to overall student success in that it allows a student to really work with this idea of problem solving.
Bringing in art for any student is very helpful because it helps them just see the world in a different light.
It teaches discipline, it teaches independence, teamwork, collaboration, skills that, everyone needs in the workforce, everyone needs, just in the general everyday living in society.
Students who take art classes learn to discover or rediscover their own capacity for imagination and creativity. Art is something that stimulates the imagination, and it sounds like a cliche, but helps people think outside the box.
Art can be related to physics. Art can be related to any discipline that you care to discuss. When we can appreciate art, we can appreciate more fully the human aspect of whatever it is we're dealing with.
Arts education helps with student success through problem solving, teamwork, group building, articulation, being able to say exactly what they're doing, how they're doing it, being able to present themselves.
Being a professional, active professional musician, it actually benefits me very well in the classroom. I'm very much interested in academia, and it just works out very well that I can translate what I do professionally as a musician to the classroom. Some of the skill sets that I use on the bandstand and in the section, actually I sort of convey, because it's a very high discipline situation. Of course, it looks like we're having fun, but I translate that to the students so they can understand that, this is serious work and it takes a lot of discipline. The whole discipline of studying, time management. And so, I just let them know that these are some of the things that we have to. When you look at the Tonight Show band and you see the band, they're back there having a good time. But believe me, they put in a lot of hours, very serious hours of preparation, to get to that point. Same thing in the classroom.
When we think about the art field and we think about its importance to the student, and I think that one of the main things that a student picks up from it is kind of like what Bill Gates said. He basically said the two things to success he felt was, one, it was hard work, and the second thing he said was an imagination. And I think if you think about any of the successful people in any field that you want to go across, you want to go into mathematics, you want to go into sciences, you want to go into religion, you want to go into any of those things, it requires imagination to be active. And in a class like drawing or design or sculpture or painting or printmaking, any one of those classes that a student will step into, all these different skills are going to help to enrich you as a person, as a full person. I'm going to give them skills, give them tools to actually help them to begin to understand this world around them and how they can go by translating it.
There's squares and rectangles, there's all kinds of basic shapes that underline all these complex forms that are there. Remember, it's about simplicity being stacked on top of itself to build to your complexity.
For students who, if they weren't necessarily art majors, however, they took, one or more art classes, one thing that they brought back, kind of an insight that they were very thankful for, was some of the communication skills that they got in some of the film and the animation classes. When you have to pitch an idea, that's not necessarily down on paper yet. You really have to work with the imagery in your head, you're defining it, and you're selling an idea, just as you would sell a product. Some of these people went into marketing. They needed to be able to pitch, relay their ideas, and in taking the art classes and not only pitching it to the class or myself, but in actually the whole experience of pitching within any field, much, much easier and more enjoyable.
Music in particular makes a wonderful connection, and it gives students an opportunity to see how math may work in music can also be applied to how it works totally in the math world, because really it's the same thing. We're dealing with duration, we're dealing with time, we're dealing with meter, and these are all forms of measurement that everyone uses. If you internalize it in music, it also makes it easier for you when you enter a class in terms of mathematics or physics. You can understand some concepts, because a lot of the concepts in science and in mathematics sometimes can be abstract. And music allows you to think a little bit more abstract and to think more analytically. A lot of times music students sometimes tend to do much better in terms of testing, standardized testing in terms of geometry and, abstract thinking, dealing with word problems, solving problems, equations. When those things are presented in other areas of academia, I think it gives a student an advantage if they have had studies in music.
Theater is valuable to students for several reasons. First of all, it helps students become aware of themselves physically and vocally. Students develop self-confidence in acting classes. Part of the practice of acting skills requires something that we call being in the moment. Much of what we do, many of the exercises, are centering exercises and quieting exercises. And I've had students who come back to me after 10 or 15 years, and one of the takeaways is, I always hear you say, be in the moment. And that's affected the way that they've proceeded with relationships, with study, and with other projects. There's the analysis of character, which is applicable to sociology and psychology and mental health.
You come from where? I probably come from not probably, it has to be specific. Okay, so I did come from the seminar.
I have many students in my acting class who come from mental health or nursing or things that involve empathy and compassion. And also, there's a lot of teamwork required in acting classes. You're working with maybe one or two other actors, and students learn to accommodate idiosyncrasies and differences and to solve problems creatively together. And that would certainly translate to any kind of cooperative effort in associations, in business, and in other classes as well.
I always like to tell my students that the speech class that they're taking is perhaps going to be the most valuable class they ever take. In terms of their career, whatever classes they're taking, communication is going to be a part of it no matter what. That while they are taking other classes here that may be in criminal justice or in health fields, there's still going to be a component of it where they're going to have to deal with other human beings. We want to learn, we want to be educated, we want to be enlightened, but let's bottom line it. You're here because you want to make a good living and you get a nice entry-level job. But who gets to move up? That's what everybody wants to do next. If you have two people who are equal in every way, but that one person connects with the decision maker in a way that the other person does not, who's going to get the job? The person who connects with them on a human level. If you are a good communicator, the odds are likely that you will get more of what you want in life than if you're not a good communicator.
A student, whether they're actually going to be a dancer themselves, a choreographer, or if dance is just something they want to do for physical activity, nutrition, thinking about your alignment, thinking about flexibility, stretching, all of those things are important to life, period. So I have had students where we talk about diet, we talk about nutrition in class because it's an important part of physicality. However, it's an important part of memory and concentration as well. All of the other subject areas are just as important as dance is important to the other subject areas. And when we talk about breath and we talk about good nutrition or what to eat before and after an exam, or breathing and taking a moment and stepping back from a question that you don't quite understand and just kind of thinking about it, that breath and that release of energy and tension allows you to think about things in different ways. Stay up there, yes! Yes! Stop there, do it again. And then there's just building stamina. You can move through life better if you're not tired all the time. So getting the correct amount of sleep, building your stamina, maybe doing cardio once or twice a week, all of those things we do in class. So the dancers in general feel more healthy, but your mind gets that oxygen. It needs that oxygen to be able to work correctly. So when you leave this class or when you leave any other dance class, you're able to go to another space and concentrate and be present.
We have some big plans on the table that we're going to work into in terms of performances with students and faculty, and working on some big projects that we're going to sponsor through Montgomery College.
Arts, in terms of education, I think it's inseparable. You cannot separate it out. It is something that is needed in our society. The arts can be used in very practical ways, that we use our different fields, but we use the imaginative ways in which we can connect. So it's about how do we use the imagination, how the imagination is used in a very positive way to create change.
For those students who aren't into the arts or are not necessarily an art major, I would still highly recommend that you try out an art class. You're going to have not only a fun experience, but it allows for a lot of growth personally, but also down the road, you're going to be able to approach your problems and just be able to problem solve much, much better.
The opportunities here to explore any form of music is great here at Montgomery College. We're very complete and well-rounded faculty, so I think students here at Montgomery College can get a wealth of knowledge.
I always encourage students to take art classes. There's a reason why there is an arts requirement in general education. It's because it's good for you, and acting teaches you to feel and empathize and discover aspects of yourself that may have been repressed or underdeveloped. And it's a lot of fun. Students come together and feel good about what they did. They move me and each other with the leaps that they've made and the joy that they've discovered in the self-expression that is theater.
When one is familiar with the arts, one can appreciate the world around them more fully. When you have a greater appreciation of art, you have a greater appreciation of the human condition. What are we talking about, human condition? The things that people make, the things that people do, the history of the world, the history of humankind, the history of you. When you see art, that is reflected back in you.
Our dance program, as well as all the other arts programs, offers students team building, problem solving. It also allows you to be physical and healthy and move and be able to meet other people and build your communication skills and think of life and subject areas in different ways. We apply a lot of different subjects to our dancing. It's just like writing. You can write about anything, you can dance about anything. So I encourage you, no matter what subject area you're in, education, health, nursing, art, music, to come and take class with us, because all of those areas will be addressed and it will just leave you with a whole nother skill set to be able to put into your future careers.
Wow, the arts supports student success in so many different ways. With me now is Josue Sosa, who is a graphic design major taking an arts course at Montgomery College. Josue, how are you able to apply what you learned in that class into your other courses?
Well, I learned with art that with patience and practice, I can achieve my desired purpose.
Oh, that's incredible. It's so great to see that your arts course did so much for you. But he's not the only one. Let's hear from some other students about how the knowledge they gained in their arts courses made them better overall students.
I've taken TV directing, which taught me how to be organized and taught me how to really manage my time and how to structure everything that I was doing, because that helped me in other classes that I've taken, such as EN 102, EN 101.
I've taken a lot of theater classes such as movement and fundamentals and intermediate acting, and they've helped me a lot with my sociology and history classes and even biology, due to all the research that we have to do that goes into our scenes and monologues by finding out backgrounds of our characters, the settings of places, and you get all these skills that can be applied to doing research for other classes.
I've taken radio and TV classes here at MC, and before I started, I was kind of introverted. You know, I wasn't outgoing, and now that I've taken these classes, it's helping me in not only just my career, but in other classes as well, in like science class and math class, you know, just communicating with people.
I've taken a majority of all the photography classes we offer at Montgomery College. It's helped me discipline myself with organization and time management. Like if I have projects in other classes, it helps me make sure I'm on track.
I've taken a majority of the theater performance arts classes here at Montgomery College, and they've helped me with psychology classes by helping me delve deeper into the mind of other human beings.
I've taken speech and theater, and both have helped me with my business classes because we have a lot of time in class where we spend in groups. So it's helped me with my social skills. I'm very outgoing now after taking theater. I'm also more expressive. I like to express my concerns in class more when I need help with a problem or when I don't understand the context. I'm more eager and willing to ask questions as to before. I used to be more shy and timid.
Broadcast journalism helped me construct my writing within English, my English classes. It helps me watch my grammar errors, and broadcast management helped me because it helps me communicate with managing sales and time and everything.
As a technical theater major, I've taken a lot of arts classes, both in the theater department and in the arts department, and they've really helped with my organization and my leadership, and which has definitely benefited my non-arts classes because it makes doing the homework and staying organized so much easier.
I've taken a lot of theater classes at Montgomery College, and they've all helped me to grow as a person and be more social in my other classes that have nothing to do with art or theater, like English and stuff like that. It makes you a team leader.
We've given you a multitude of reasons why taking those arts courses will boost your academic prowess and job skills, no matter what career field you choose. So be sure to enroll in one of our fabulous arts courses ASAP. That's all the time we have for this episode. So thanks for watching MC 101 on the Real. We're ending by showcasing Montgomery College Arts with images from the Rockville Art Department's 2013 Annual Student Exhibition. See you next time.